All right, so I'm good now, and we're ready to begin. Okay, so that's our opening music. We're here in our Jerusalem studio with our live studio audience, and we're talking today about counter-report handling in Alma. Now, I'm going to begin very basic to discuss what are counter-reports, how were they managed beforehand, how are they managed now. Then I'm going to show in Alma with live examples how the whole system works. Then we're going to talk about the process of rolling this out to new Alma institutions and the over 500 existing Alma institutions. So that's the plan. So first of all, a counter report. We're talking about counter usage reports. No other kinds of usage reports. Counter usage reports. Now, what is a counter usage report? I'm going to look at some examples here, then we're going to look at the internet, and then we'll see. A counter usage report, I've got some right in front of me here, is a report which is received from the vendor. There are various formats and various types. I'm looking at one here called, what is this called? Let me get out of here. This is called ACM Digital Library 2016 BR1. BR1 is the report format. We support several different formats. BR1 is Book Report 1. We also support BR2, which is Book Report 2. And we support JR1, JR1A, PR1, DB1. All of this we're going to get to. So a counter report looks something like this. They're all a little different depending on the format. It's a report which is received from the vendor for a specific time period, which tells how much usage was there of a specific resource or resources. For example, here we see that thickness noise of helicopter rotors at high speeds. Ooh, that sounds like an interesting one. That for the reporting period of 2016, January 1st to August 31st, there were 8 uses, and then it breaks it down by month. Another one, for example, of the American Thoracic Society, BR2, a little different format, includes some different data. Here, for example, there were 103 uses. Then if we look, for example, let's go up to some others here, JR1, which is a very popular one. JR1 includes 3 different types of measures. It has a reporting period total. For example, here there were 97 used for the period of 2016, January 1st to September 30th. These are real counter reports. I just changed the name here to Sample University, but these are real counter reports. And this one has what they call a reporting period HTML and a reporting period PDF. How many times was the resource viewed? How many times was it downloaded, for example? And all of the different reports have different formats and different measures. These reports are uploaded into Alma, then ETL'd to analytics. They can be viewed in analytics, and in some cases they can also be viewed in Alma. And we're going to look at all of that in a moment. Now, take a look here. I already have the internet sites open. This is the standard internet site of Counter. So Counter, you can read this on your own, projectcounter.org. It enables a standard of knowledge community to count the use of electronic resources. That's the whole point here. People want to know how many times or if at all their electronic resources were used. Primarily, but not only, for the purpose of knowing how am I spending my money, what should I continue to order, What should I cancel? And not only that, but to know what kind of areas in the institution are people mostly studying, and that can have other kinds of repercussions. And you can read all about it here. I'm not going to waste anyone's time now reading it for you. Together, projectcounter.org will tell everything about it. So we saw some sample counter reports. We saw that it's a worldwide organization. It's following certain standards. It's not an invention of Ex Libris. And many Alma, Aleph, Voyager, SFX institutions are using this for many years. And today, up until about August or so, everybody was using only UStat. Let's go to our other presentation here. We're going to very briefly look at a PowerPoint, but we don't want to look at a PowerPoint too long. So this one here is showing what happened before and what happened now. Let me close all these. Someone's typing away there very eagerly. Perhaps if you're typing eagerly over there, just mute yourself so we won't hear the keyboard. Okay, so we already saw what is counter. We already saw counter reports. Here is what has been happening for the past many, many years. A library or an institution would upload their counter reports. You get your counter report in step 1. They would upload it to UStat in step 2. Every Saturday morning, as they say in Latin, lo alenu, Saturday morning, and then it would come number 3 right into Alma. A job would run Saturday morning. Then in Alma there would be the nightly ETL, extract, transfer, load, which brings the data from Alma into analytics, and then in analytics the reports can get made. This is what has been happening now for several years. Now, the new method, it goes from counter right into Alma. Now, the loading of the counter reports is done in 2 ways. It can be either manually or it can be via Sushi. Sushi is a statistical usage statistics harvesting initiative. It's a not that raw fish wrapped in seaweed. It's a protocol for harvesting counter reports. Sushi. The HI at the end is the harvesting initiative. One of those H's is statistics, one of the U's is usage, etc. Sushi, those are the 2 ways it goes from number 1 to 2, either Sushi or a manual upload. So here, between these 2 slides here where I called it before the new method and the new method, this is the change we're talking about, where UStat will not be used for the loading of the counter reports. Instead, it will go right to Alma. And we have many advantages that we're going straight into Alma. We're using the latest technology. We're eliminating another third-party system that people need to log in and deal with. You can link your Sushi accounts right to a vendor in Alma. It's all together. It's faster. You don't have to wait till Saturday morning. And for it to get transferred from the UStat to the Alma, it's there immediately. You've got your nightly ETL, so it's available maximum 24 hours later in Alma Analytics. And that's what's going on there. Now, before we actually look at the using of it inside Alma, let's see what we've done until now to roll this out. Now, I must say, we've gone about this project in a very organized, systematical, I'm going to do a full screen here, Shift F5. Okay, you should see my screen in a moment. Great. Does everybody see my screen? I think you do. So just somebody talk if you see my screen. Just say, yes, I see your screen. Because when I go into this full mode here, you never know what's going to happen.
We can see your screen.
Okay, great. So we've gone about this in a very organized, systematic manner. We started with 5 test partners, development partners, people working with us since the beginning in testing it. And they've been live using this since August 1st. Before August 1st, they were involved with us as to various questions and decisions we were making about how to set it up in Alma. Which new report standards are the most important that we want to start with first, and it's been a very good experience, very enjoyable working with these 5 institutions. They are all heavy counter report usage users, so we were able to get a good amount of feedback back. Some things were reported and are still being fixed. Some have already been fixed. So we're moving along, and these are the 5 institutions that we've been working with. We set up a Basecamp project so that everybody could log in and we could all share our ideas. And we got together one-on-one. This is myself and Laura Guy from the Colorado School of Mines. We met and went over some of the stuff. Where are we today? So these, it might look to somebody who's not really into the counter reports like a complicated thing, but if you look at the first column, those are the formats where it says counter type. First column on the left, those are the formats that we support and plan to support. You can see the first, the third and the fourth column where it says Alma Manual, Alma Sushi. They're all manually supported now, all the way up to PR1. So DB1 is database, BR1, BR2 are book report 1, book report 2, then we got JR1, JR1A. That's journal reports and journal report archives. PR1, now if you take a look, for example, at PR1, you'll see it's supported in Alma, both manual and Sushi. It wasn't supported in UStat, and it won't be supported in UStat. So we've already added 3 new counter report formats which are supported today in Alma, which are not supported in UStat. JR1A, PR1, and JR1A for both Release 3 and Release 4. There are different versions of each format, and PR1. So we're already supporting additional formats in Alma, and as you can see, we've got Plan Stage 1 and Plan Stage 2. Those are the additional formats that we're going to be supporting shortly. Okay, this here is what I just said, that we've added new formats which we support. We've got documentation already done. When I get out of this PowerPoint, we'll take a look at it. And what is our plan? So the 5 early testers are using it now. We've got 25 more institutions set up by the beginning of next week. During the weekend, we're doing a migration of the data into Alma. As of Sunday, there'll be 25 more institutions using counter reports management in Alma. We're going to take a look. We've got a new role called Usage Data Operator. Someone with that role has various privileges which we're going to look at. People can already start giving users who they want to start using this new functionality the role, but you won't be able to see anything yet until you yourself start. Your institution will begin managing counter reports in this manner. There's a table called subscribers. You'll define yourself as a subscriber just like in UStat. Usually there's 1 subscriber, sometimes there's more, but usually there's just 1. And that's what we've done so far. Now I'd like to actually go in and start taking a look at Alma. Now this gets a little complicated right now because whenever I go into that full view of the PowerPoint and then get out of full view, it ruins all the screens. So 1 minute please, I gotta stop sharing on my laptop and then I gotta get my other one back. Hold on 1 minute please. I'm going to share the desktop again in a minute. That's why I usually don't do full view on the PowerPoint. One moment, please. I'm going to share the screen in 1 second. Okay, share screen, and everybody should see it. Okay, so I'm sharing the screen now, and you should see me and Alma doing a repository. Nope, someone just wrote nope. Okay, let's try this again. I'm going to click share screen. Okay, now you should see it. People see me? Yep, I just got a yep. Okay, great. So let's go on here and continue. So we said here that, let me go into my demo environment here. I'm going to open up a browser. I'm going to log in. Okay, now let me point out also that I'm in my demo environment. I'm only going to be in demo environments if you see something that somehow looks like a real institution. This says Alma University on the top, but if somewhere you see something that looks like a real library, real location, real icon, be assured I'm only in a demo environment, not showing anything real of any institution. Okay, so let's take a look. If we come, for example, to find and manage users, and we take this user that I'm in right now, her name is Hannah Wagner, and we look at her, we will see, for example, Actions Edit, that there is a new role, and she happens to have that new role, and that new role is called Load Usage Data Operator. Let me go into the online help while we're at it too. Alma Ex Libris, Knowledge Ex Libris Group Com, and we'll take a look there. So here I'm going to say add role just so I see the list of roles, and here we have Usage Data Operator. That's a new role, and that and Vendor Manager have different permissions, which we're going to see in a moment, which allow them to handle Sushi accounts. Sushi, we said, is the harvesting method for counter reports. Vendor Manager can make the Sushi accounts in the vendor record. We have all of this documented very well right here where I'm going now in our product documentation, which is the online help. Inside the acquisitions, if I just take a look right now for counter, I'm in the acquisition section of the online help, and you'll see managing compliant usage data. And there's a full organized explanation. Here you've got the table of the reports that we referred to a moment ago. Here's the role summary. We said usage data operator. He can manually upload data for any vendor and manage the uploaded data files. And then you've got your acquisitions administrator who can configure the Sushi. You've got the vendor manager who can view the usage data related to a particular vendor. So anyway, this user here that I'm in now has vendor manager, has usage data operator, has acquisitions administrator, and that means a couple of things here. First of all, underneath import, we have a new section called load usage data, which we'll look at in a moment. And in addition to the load usage data, let me close this, we'll show off these beautiful reports in a moment. And in addition to that, inside a vendor, I'm going to go look at a vendor, for example, the American Chemical Society. There's a new tab called usage data. And inside the tab Usage Data, let's say Actions Edit, that's where we can manually upload the counter reports. And it's also where we can see the Sushi accounts. I'm going to click here on this new tab called Usage Data, which today, except for the early testers, all of you out there who work with vendors know there is no Usage Data tab. It's a brand new tab. And here we can set up multiple Sushi accounts, or we can say your current session was interrupted. Now that's very interesting. Okay, Actions Edit. Okay, so here Usage Data. Go simultaneously here to my American Chemical Society. Okay, so we've got the usage data here. These are different Sushi accounts for this vendor, American Chemical Society. Sushi accounts of type PR1, JR1, and JR1A. If we take a look at these, you'll see that set up all of these specifics, the requester ID, the username, password, etc. for each Sushi account. And below are the files which have been uploaded. Now this is just for the current month, so there's only one, but if I go now, I'm going to filter here by uploaded in the last 3 months. We'll see many more. We'll see that some of these files were uploaded via the Sushi scheduler, which we'll talk about in a moment, or through an actual user. Now, it's possible to upload the files, we said, either manual or via the Sushi harvesting. If I upload a file manually, which we will do together shortly, I could come right here to the upload file. Again, I'm clicking here where it says upload file, and I'll choose a file, and then I would click upload file, which we'll do in a moment. Or I could say actions harvest now, and according to whatever is defined in my Sushi harvest, it would go to this URL with this username, this password, go get my files, bring it back, and upload them. Or I can wait till Saturday morning when there's a regular job. I'm going to go to Monitor Jobs. Every Saturday morning, when everybody else is taking it easy or doing whatever they normally do on a Saturday morning, Alma is running the Sushi harvesting. So there's a Sushi harvesting job right here. Oops, sorry about that. Right here that runs every Saturday morning if the library prefers to. I could run it now here this way, but typically it runs every Saturday morning and the library gets it automatically done for them. So those are two options, and that's how the files get uploaded. Now let's do a real example. We said also that you don't have to do the Sushi harvesting. You can also go manually. Now the manual, like we just saw a minute ago, let's go back there. It's possible to upload the files from inside the vendor record. Here in the Usage Data tab, we said I can click Upload File and upload the files. In that case, though, I need to do it from each specific vendor record, once for American Chemical Society, once for ProQuest, once for EBSCO, once for Technological Abstracts, once for Mining and Industry, whatever. Or I can come and do it right here from the Import Load Usage Data menu. Now here, I'm not doing it from inside a vendor. Therefore, when I upload the file, I'll choose not only the file name here. Oh, we already made this bigger. We had a request from our early testers to make this field larger because it was kind of small, and it looks like it may have already been done. It looks much larger than it used to look. And here I've got my vendor record. So here I would first choose the vendor, and let's take the American Association for the Advancement of Science. Then I would choose the file, the Royal Society of Chemistry, and then I would upload the file. And let's actually do that now and watch what happens. First, let me do a search here for electronic portfolios, chemical engineering, go. Okay. Now, let's say here, I'm in Alma University, and I go, which is one of my demo environments, and I go load usage data. And now I'll choose one of my vendors. All right, I'll choose the American Chemical Society. ACS, go, American Chemical Society, select. I'll choose my subscriber. Typically, there'll only be one subscriber. Now I'm going to choose my file. And I'll take one of these. I don't know. Okay. This is a PR1 report. Let's just take a look at it for the fun of it. So counter this. Here it is. What does this look like? This is a PR1, which is platform report. So here it's telling me that for the Royal Society of Chemistry, from the period of January 1st to May 31st, there were 1,589 searches. For Royal Chemical Society, it was broken down this way. After something was found, there were 4 clicks and 4 views. We're going to upload that file right now. Oops, sorry, I keep jumping around here. Very sorry. Here we go. Okay, Alma University, upload file. So now it's uploading the file manually. Let's let that finish. Spinning around on top. You can see I already loaded some of these files, and it's already done. So it's been uploaded. And I can see here Actions View shows me the report. I can see 4 records were uploaded. The file was created on October 6th. I uploaded it today, October 10th. Inside the report, there's a subscriber. When I wrote it, when I sent it, there's a subscriber. The report type is PR1. It was fully processed. Sometimes you get a message invalid. Now, let me ask a question here. This is going to be a trivia question. If I upload this file again, same vendor, same subscriber, and I take this same file and I click Upload File, what do you think should happen? I'm going to go to my list of participants and see if anybody sends in a chat or just talks. What should happen now? And also, good opportunity to see if anyone's awake and listening. What do you think should happen now if I try to upload the same file again? I'm going to take the same file and click Upload File. What do you think should happen? It should fail. Okay, Anthony said it should fail. That's correct. And if we built a real nice user-friendly system, which of course we did, what should it do? Not only fail, but what else? You should get a message. This file has already been, yep, perfect. Okay, so we have a winner. Her name is Judith, and she said should get a message. This file has already been uploaded, which is true. That's exactly what happens. It says it's slightly different, but let's give it a try. I'm clicking Upload File, and it says the following, everything's great. Okay, that's our studio audience. They just can't help themselves. Thanks for the clapping. And yes, so we get a message overlapping data was found. We know that we already uploaded it, so we don't want to do this. Or we can do it and do it again, whatever. In any case, we're notified. Now, if, however, I were to take this file, and I'm just going to try to trick the system, I could take it and say, this is actually for 2015 to 12/31, and then I can really start tricking them around, and I can say, let me take this with me, and say this is going to be 6/1, and this is going to be 7/1, and this is going to be 8/1, and that's enough for us for now. Okay. Interesting. This one here goes, there we go. It's a little tricky, this Excel. It's not as user-friendly as Alma. And we'll just throw in some numbers here. I'm just manually making my own counter report, but we said typically these are received from a vendor. Typically, always they're received from a vendor. In fact, we often get questions, can a library make their own types of usage, and do we support homemade usage reports? And the answer is always no. We stick by the one worldwide known system, which we said was the counter reports, and that's what we're using. And that's what we'll continue to use. Okay, now we're just going to keep tricking them. Great. And now we're just going to say Control H when I have 2016, give me 2015. Okay. So now I've tricked it. Now I have the same report, but for 2015. So now I should be able to upload. I'll throw in some more fictitious numbers here. 365, 267, 345. Wonderful. So I've made my own report, and I will call this one 2015. Can we manually delete usage data previously entered, Lucy asks. Lucy, one moment. I'm going to take your question, and I'm going to stick it here for everyone to see, and I'm going to answer that in one moment. So now I'm going to upload this file. This is my 2015 file. And let's take that file. There's my 2015 upload file. And she's spinning around there. I'm uploading a whole year's data. Everything was good. Now I'm going to try to upload it again. I got to choose the file first. Choose the file, upload, and now I get the message. So I don't want to upload. I'm going to cancel. Then Mary says, this is a message from Mary. No, Lucy. Sorry, Lucy. It was Lucy, right? Let me go to my chats. Lucy, can we manually delete usage data previously entered in error? The answer is yes. And let's say I by accident uploaded that 2015 file. Here, I can say actions delete, and now he's going to tell me, wait a minute, am I just deleting the log or am I deleting the file? So it should tell me everything. Let's give it a shot. And there we go. He tells me. Okay, so he says, this action will delete the file and its loaded data. You sure you want to continue? Confirm. Now it's gone. Now I only have the 2016. and I get the correct file, or I do whatever I need to do to it, and now I can upload it, and now it's not going to tell me that there's overlap because I got rid of the original. Okay, so let me close my mail there. I usually close my mail before the session. Sorry about that. Oh, there we go. Close. All right, so that's the manual upload. The Sushi upload, we're not going to run it now, but you saw the examples of the Sushi upload. Now, that data is available in Alma Analytics, and it's also available, as many of you know. Here, I'm going to click More Info on Chemical Engineering, and simultaneously, I'm going to do a little report here. I'm going to go into my criteria tab. Ooh, let me go back into Alma Analytics. And this data is available in Alma Analytics and in Alma even. Here's my chemical engineering. I searched here for chemical engineering. Excuse me. I clicked the More Info, and from Galeson Gauge, and I have this thing here, combined usage last 12 months, and this brings me a report from Alma, a report for chemical engineering from Galeson Gauge for the last 12 months. If I say here, open a new window, for example, I can see the actual name of the report. It's usage by title / graph. Here, usage by title graph. And if I go directly into Alma Analytics, this is showing the counter usage data that we uploaded. I'll go into Design Analytics just to show what's happening here. And I'll say Catalog, just so we see the full picture, why we're uploading this in the first place and what's happening. So here we have Alma, then we have usage, then we have reports, then we have usage by title graph. This is the actual report, which we just saw from inside the Alma user interface when we did the More Info. And when we did it, it automatically prompted for the specific title that we started at. So now we opened it manually here. It's not prompting by a specific title, but I'm switching over to the Criteria tab just to show what happened. You can see title identifier is prompted, normalized title is prompted. So what I can really do here, excuse me, is say filter. And let's look for it here. And I'll say starts don't match the case. Chemical underline. We could take that here. And this is now going to give me the same results. I just manually put in here that I'm filtering by normalized title chemical engineering. Here I've got the chemical engineering. I did the More Info. I clicked combine usage, and it gave me inside the Alma interface here the report like that. And here, look at that. Inside Alma, it does the same exact thing. Switching screens. Here I am inside Alma. Here I ran it manually. It gives me the same report. And there's many places where we're putting Alma Analytics reports inside Alma. Now, on a larger level, let me go into another demo environment here. Demo MN. Okay, so now if I go again to Design Analytics, we've also got, coming out in the November release, a full set, and I'm going to show them now already, a full set of new usage reports Usage reports based on counter usage. I'm going to go to the community folder, just because that's where I've got them until they're in the real version, which is in November. And under Ex Libris development, you'll see these in November. I apologize that you need to wait. And I'm going to open this. This is a new dashboard with, as we see here, many, many reports. And it uses the counter reports, which are now going to be uploaded in Alma instead of UStat, to show data. For example, right now we're in a tab called Books Most Used. And that's working on the BR1 reports. The BR1s are the book reports. While that's loading, let's talk. Then we've got on the journals, which is JR1. We've got on the databases, which is DB1. All publishers for journal usage. Trends by month. Trends by month shows usage all across the board by month. So here we see, for example, these are the books, the top 5 used platforms for books. In this specific demo environment, we've got Springer Link, eBrary, Science Direct. They're the biggest. If we switch to databases, we've got here ProQuest is the biggest. As far as databases by title, here, Business Source Complete's the biggest. ProQuest Dissertations is the third and fourth biggest. Then we've got Trends by Month, where it shows the usage by month, showing the last 2 full years. So it's now October 2016, so it'll show me all of 2015, all of 2014. We'll let that load. We're going to go to the questions in a moment that everybody sent in. We'll let this load. Here we come. So we see both years, it's more or less the same. 2015 had less usage in September, but it was primarily up and down the same months. And then we've got trends, increase and decrease, which shows the change in usage across the past 2 years, which ones went up, which ones went down. Let me just point out one more documentation section. We said here in the online help, we've got this full section here on managing counter-compliant usage. Then we've also got the presentation we're going to look at in one moment, the report harvesting and uploading in Alma, counter report harvesting and uploading in Alma. And we're going to take a brief look at that, make sure we covered everything, and then we're going to go to the questions. Here, this is the usage data changes. So these are looking at these counter reports that we've been talking about the whole time. And anytime it's red, it means that it was more than 100% change. For example, 19th century music was used only 247 times 2 years ago, and 1 year ago it was used 3,784 times. So between 2014 and 2015, it had a major change. And anything with a major change we said is in red. Or maybe we didn't say that, but that's what I'll say now. Anything with a major change of more than 100 is in red, so they can easily be identified. This is a report, by the way, that we took from, it's inspired by the ideas of Intoda assessment. We worked together closely with the staff from ProQuest as well, and this was something they were developing for, or did develop for Intoda assessment. And we went through what they have and what we have and decided we'll take the best ideas from both. And this was directly inspired by the Intoda assessment reports. Okay, so before we get to the questions, we said the documentation, you've gotten the online help right here, managing counter-compliant usage data. Here in this presentations and documents section of the extended training on the Knowledge Center, we already saw the diagram showing before and after. We already showed the way we've been rolling this out and how we went through with the test partners. Then we have a full presentation step by step of what I showed now. We're going to take a brief look at that. That's here. And we'll just make sure we went through everything. So we said we're taking the functionality which is today in UStat, and we're bringing that into Alma. That's the functionality of uploading manually and via Sushi. We said there's a new staff role called Usage Data Operator. We said inside the vendor there's a new tab called Usage Data. That there is where you can add the Sushi accounts. I do want to show one more thing on the Sushi accounts. We said you can also upload manually the files. We did upload manually a file. You can filter when you see all those files. You can also upload right from the import menu at the load usage data menu. And we went through all of them. One more point I want to make here is when adding the Sushi accounts, for example, I just hit resume, pause, I don't know what just happened. Benjamin, if you're still there, you might want to make sure I didn't just ruin something with the recording. All right, so for example, if I go into a vendor, let me go into a vendor with a lot of, I did ENSCO. There is no ENSCO. I go into a vendor that has a lot of Sushi ones. Now, here I can see I've got 3 EBSCO accounts, but I can filter by vendor type Sushi vendor, and then I see only one is a Sushi account. Then, inside the Usage Data tab, I can see that there are 3 here. Sometimes there can be 100 of them. Sushi accounts. And when I add a Sushi account, I can start typing, and it goes and looks in the community zone. All of these are saved, and a library can just come and copy one, like the American Medical Association, and it puts in the vendor URL automatically. Of course, the requester ID, requester name, all of that is going to be different for each institution. Those do not get copied. And in the future, we're going to have an option here where every institution can contribute to the community zone. Now, I see it's already 7:51, so we have 2 options here. I'm going to go to my participant section. We've got 2 options. Option 1 is, okay, we got a question. My options were going to be, thank you, Lucy, for sending that question. My options were going to be, we can go through the pre-sent questions here, or you can just start sending them in by chat. So I already got 2 questions from the chat, so let's go by the chat. So let me click chat here so I've got them. Maybe there's even more. I saw 2 pop up. Okay, so we got one here from Lucy. Can we add, let me take this with me. Where are you from, Lucy? If you don't mind me asking. If you don't want to answer, that's okay. It can be anonymous. It's just a curiosity question. So, can we add a Sushi account if it's not listed, e.g. American Mathematical Association? Yes, you can add your own Sushi account, and you can call it whatever you'd like in whatever language you want. Let me go into a different demo environment. Sorry, I've got so many demo environments. Let me close this one and go in here and here. Okay, so I can go in. Let's add a Sushi account. Let's say I want to add it here. I can say Actions Edit, Usage Data, and I will say sushi vendor. Once I click sushi vendor, then I have the add button. And now I can say this is going to be sushi account Lucy. And even though it doesn't exist there, that's fine. http://www.lucy.com.edu/usage. With this thing here, my requester ID is Lucy613. My requester name is Jimmy Jones. My ID is that. My customer name is Lucy University. My username is Lucy Smith, and my password is encrypted. And my mail is lucy@lucyedu.au. And then I can say save. Now, in the future, I'll not only be able to do save, I'll be able to do contribute. And then I can so I just created a new account here called Lucy, a new sushi account called Lucy. And I could, in the future, when we develop it, contribute this also to the community zone for more people to see and use, and then they could copy it. Okay. So that's that. Now let's go on to the other questions. I see them piling in here. Back to the chat. Next, from Swinburne. Can we use a vendor that is not in the CZ list of sushi accounts? I think I just answered that one, right, Swinburne? That sounds like the same question as Lucy had. The answer is yes. Let me put this one into Notepad so everyone can see. And the answer is yes. You can add whatever you want. Okay, next, from Macquarie. Let's see here. I'll paste this one in. Will the data already stored in UStat be migrated to Alma, e.g., reports already harvested in Sushi details? The data will be migrated to Alma, or actually, to answer that more technically, the data is already there. There's no need to migrate. What happens today behind the scenes, just to put it on a technical level, is every Saturday morning, like we said, as they say in Latin, lo alenu Saturday morning, but every Saturday morning, it takes the data. There's a job that runs UStat, copies it to Alma. So it's already in there. When I went to that chemical engineering and I clicked view usage, it's already in Alma, and that's why it was able to see it. It's in Alma Analytics. Everybody who today does an Alma Analytics report knows that the data is already there. However, you won't see the reports here. We're not going to migrate the past 10 years or whatever it is of the reports. You won't be able to go down here and say everything uploaded in the last year. When you do that, you won't see it in the list of reports of uploaded data. What you uploaded in UStat, the reports there are not going to be translated to a report in Alma. The data, of course, will still be there. It's there now, and it will still be there. Okay, so that seems to be all of the chat questions. Let me go to the other questions here. I'll open these are the questions that were received. How does one add a local sushi harvesting account? Okay, that one we just did. What's the meeting password we should use? If anyone's in now, then I assume they got it correctly. This is a popular one. Will institutions using Serial Solution 360 Counter be able to migrate their statistics to Alma? So let's take a look at something here. As you know, all of our documentation and everything is open to the world. And if I say here, Ex Libris Knowledge, Migration, Alma, and Toda, you'll see here on the knowledge base, Control F360. Ooh, what happened there? I must have hit the wrong control something. 360. Okay, so you can see the data here is going to be migrated, but in Total Assessment 360 Counter, there's going to be a beta version of the migration from Total Assessment 360 Counter in March 2017 and available for everybody in June 2017. So if you're using 360 Counter and you migrate tomorrow, the counter reports will not get migrated. Of course, if you have the counter reports, you can upload them yourself. It's not that you can't put the data there, but what you've already loaded to 360 Counter will not be migrated. But again, you can get the reports and upload them just like we did here as our example. Okay, that brings us to 8 a.m. local time. So I thank you everybody for, if there's one more question, feel free to send it in. We can stay a little late. Well, okay, there we go. Lucy, will our institutional Sushi accounts data be migrated? No. The institutional Sushi accounts will not be migrated. What we've done for the early testers is given them a Excel sheet of the Sushi account data so they could put it in. Now, I do want to point out that what we found is over the years, people have added to UStat a lot of Sushi accounts, and the actual amount which is used compared to what they've added in there over the years is much smaller than what exists. But in any case, no, there's not a migration of the Sushi accounts. They need to be re-added. Okay, so thank you very much, everybody, and we'll see you next time we have an Ask the Expert session. Have a nice day.